trend? Who decided that wearing pajamas to the grocery store was okay? Back in my day, you got dressed to go out in public. Now it's like a fashion show of sleepwalking. Let's talk about commercials. They're like a mini...
Look, what I'm trying to say is that, respectfully, your entire argument is wrong. Don't use bigger words just to prove your point. Digital games are better in every way. They're easier to download, and I don't have to leave the house. But the ability to hold and own a physical game is better in every conceivable way. You guys done yet? Once he admits he's wrong, we'll be done. Physical is tradition. Digital is the future.
What about subscriptions?
There's a third option? Well, it doesn't seem like their argument is going to end anytime soon. So, why don't we talk about this a bit more? The debate of physical and digital games have been on since the creation of digital stores. People have often wondered if buying a physical game over a digital game makes it better because they own the game in some way. And digital is about the same way, claiming that it's easier for them to actually buy. But what are the benefits of digital or physical games? And how do subscriptions come into play? Well, let's start by taking a look at physical games. Chances are, if you've been playing games for a while, physical games are your main collection of games. And that's what I think the big drive to physical games are. Physical games act like a collection of games that you've played and are almost like a capsule in time. Many may collect and display them for themselves and others to see, while others may just jam them into a drawer, like I do. When it comes to physical games, there's also something nice about just holding a game. When I was younger, I remember driving home with my mom and dad after buying a game and just looking at the cover. I loved looking at the art, the manual that came with some of them, and even the screenshots on the back of the cover. It just made it all the more exciting to actually get a game. And the same is still true for me now. I had that same feeling when I picked up Spider-Man 2. Holding a game and actually having a disc is a rewarding feeling in and of itself. That's not even mentioning if your game comes with something alongside the game. When Kingdom Hearts Final Mix was announced, I knew I had to get it. I was already excited for the game. I sold a lot of what I had at garage sales just to buy a PlayStation 3 and the game. So when I got the game and realized that it came with an art book too... This was so cool at the time. These little pre-order bonuses were something that, at the time, didn't really come with digital games, which I'll get to later in this video. While I don't go for pre-order bonuses much anymore, if there's a game that I'm looking forward to, I'll pre-order it physically. But if it doesn't really matter much to me, then that's where digital comes into play. Okay, so digital games are where the debates seem to start for many. The first digital game that I ever got was Little Big Planet 2. And let me just say that it took it a while to download, especially on a PlayStation 3. I remember buying the game and having it download, and in that time, I remember making dinner with my family, watching the Kentucky Derby, which was the same day I got the console, cleaning up, and the game was still downloading. A big issue for digital games is that it depends on your internet how long you have to wait until you can actually play your game. Now, did this impact how the game ran after this? No. Personally, I've never seen a big difference between running a game digitally or physically. This is something that always confuses me when people have this debate. Whether you buy the game physically or digitally, you're going to experience the same game. Whether it's good or not isn't dependent on how the game runs on your system. Digital games have a lot of benefits to them. It used to be that pre-order bonuses were only available for physical games, and while that is true that you can only get physical products from physical releases, digital games still have much to offer. There's a lot of different editions that each come with their own items. This can be anything from in-game currency all the way up to digital art books. Though one major drawback for some digital games is you can't resell it. Physical games give the player the option to sell or give away their game. This is why you'll hear many on the physical side say that they own the game. I don't think I've ever been able to resell a game for more than half of what it was going for in stores. I've tried through a ton of different online local sellers like OfferUp and Facebook, but I tend to resell these games for roughly $15 at most. There's also trade-ins at some stores like GameStop, but I'm getting roughly the same results here. Sometimes worse. For the most part, this is where the debate seems to have stopped. I mean, physical and digital games have been debated on over years, so it makes sense that these are the main two. But there's one third option in actually getting a game: subscriptions. I have some deeper issues with subscription services that I'll get to in a future video. Now, I'm not in the group that thinks subscription services are ruining entertainment. Subscription services seem to be the way that everything is going. Whether it's movies or games, it's just the way that things are right now. If anything, I actually enjoy the subscription services because it allows me to see many games I otherwise wouldn't think twice about. Let's take a look at the PlayStation Plus subscription. The most expensive version, the premium, costs $160 for a year. There's not many who would say that's a low price. With that subscription, you're able to play, no exaggeration, over 1,000 different games. Roughly 16 cents per game. Now that does sound like a steal, but not every game is a winner. For every Final Fantasy VII, there's Ice Age Scratty's Nutty Adventure. Don't get me wrong though, there's a ton on this subscription service alone, but when budgeting comes into play, it can be overwhelming. For the PlayStation subscription alone, do you get the Essential, Extra, or Premium subscription? And for how long? 1 month, 3 months, or a year? What do you want in your bundle? Game trials? The Classics catalog is full of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. Do you want that or not? It can be confusing when you just want to play certain games. This goes for just about any subscription service, and while it can be confusing at first, once you understand what you get in each package, that worry actually goes away. I've loved the PlayStation Plus subscription, and when I tested out the Game Pass for Xbox, it's just about the same. At the end of the day, the way in which you play games doesn't really matter. As long as it makes sense to you and you enjoy it, go for it. If you want games for the sake of owning them, get the physical version. But if you want games for the experience, go for either the digital version or subscriptions. I just try to make sure you're getting a good deal more than anything when it comes to getting these games. Some games are actually cheaper on subscriptions than on physical or digital versions. The best way to find some of these deals would be on websites like gg.deals or Is There Any Deal. They're able to show you where to get certain games. Do your research before buying a game. Now, that's just what I think about digital, physical, and subscription games, but what about you? What's your preferred way of getting a game? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video, and remember to chase the chaos.